E-Slave Manga back in with another YouTube video, and today I think we got a really good story in front of us today. So, if you are not familiar with the older, I think 1978-79 movie, then this is probably the story for you. You know, if you've ever also watched Firestarter, I believe that Firestarter was based off of this movie. But, I know we got some maybe younger audience as well. So maybe you're not familiar with the movie or the Firestarter movie as well. So we'll go ahead and show a couple pictures from, I want to say the art book first, and then maybe I might get into some panels from the actual story itself of dun 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 Akira. So Akira is actually like one of the top tier stories for me, even from like the older generation. Like I was never much into mech or anything like that, and so I feel like anything kind of based in the current era is always pretty good. So I'll give you a little bit of story about it. So that character right there was none other than your main hero, Kaneda, or Kaneda, however you would like to say it. Some people I know might like to say it differently. Here is the city of Neo Tokyo, if I remember correctly. A little bit of kind of distorted color, looks pretty good. I actually even have like a leather jacket based off of this. Might even show that off. It's got the patch and everything, so pretty sick on that. Good for health, bad for education. Pretty cool. And so, interesting enough, I actually got into this series from my friend. He introduced me to two great stories. Literally 10 out of 10 stories. Probably just my opinion, but Berserk and none other than the story we're talking about today, Akira. So, Akira and Berserk definitely beloved in my heart, and I gotta always shout out my friend for getting me into these for the long haul. I'm gonna show at least one more good panel from the art book, and then we'll get into a little bit of story. Why not? We'll just show one more cool picture of Kaneda. So, if anybody's familiar with the Naruto and Sasuke rivalry, I actually love the rivalry between these two characters because the main premise is these kids in a biker gang, believe it or not. And they're living in the world of Neo Tokyo after the destruction. So, if anybody's familiar, kind of based off of Hiroshima and Nagasaki after World War II. And as I said, you have this gang of motorcycle kids, more or less. Like they're like teenagers, and so there can be a little bit of adult content, but not like nude or anything like that. It's more like you could see gang activity, like they're beating up these clowns that are like the rival gang from some of the beginning chapters and stuff like that. But then it takes like a real paranormal twist with these kids, you would think, that appear like earlier on in the series. And especially in the movie, it takes like maybe only like 10 minutes to see the kids. And I could be wrong, but I want to say that you see one of the kids very early on in the movie, and I want to say that it actually takes a little bit longer in the manga to see the kind of paranormal twists and turns that this series can provide. So I actually took a brief second to get down the box set that these volumes were contained in. It was the 35th anniversary of Akira from 1982 to 2017. It had like magnetic seals to it, so pretty cool. Like you could open it up sideways magnetically. So very, very interesting. Even had like artwork down the sides and stuff. Gonna see it split. So we'll set that down to the side. And so, personally, this is one of my favorite formats for Akira because I want to say they have 3 or 4 different printings of Akira. Just as I was stated, it came out in 1982, and then this edition ran through 2017. And me and my friend, we actually agreed to buy this box set. And he actually got his way before I got mine, and so then I actually got to look at it firsthand. And I can't remember if he bought his like in the first set before it ran out of print, or we both watched it go out of print the first time, and then we're like, oh my gosh, we really need to pick up this box set. I know how much we both enjoy Akira. And so I was like, yeah, you're right. We definitely should pick it up. And then, of course, as fate would have it, they would reprint it or put some more out on the market. We would grab them, and then they like never went out of print ever again in the box sets. And so we're like, of course, that's how it goes. But lucky enough, we actually did get to pick them up. So me and my friend both own this in his collection. So definitely consider picking it up, whether you watch the movie or you pick up the amazing, huge manga right here in front of us. So I'll actually get a standard volume of manga that we're all used to and put it in front of volumes 1 and 6, just so you can kind of see the comparison. If we took a random panel from Berserk, and then let's see how big and massive these panels are for Akira. As I mentioned earlier, the clown biker gangs. So, this box set, it comes in volumes 1 through 6, and I definitely recommend how big and amazing the story is, with the intriguing psychological um, elements that always keeps you hooked and wondering what's going to happen, the entanglement between Kaneda and Tetsuo, and a girl that ends up appearing as well trying to help Kaneda during his missions. And I don't really mean missions, it's more or less, let's say their adventures. We'll put the volume of Berserk back. Crazy good example. And so, interesting on the powers element and the supernatural elements that Akira takes, because not only is it cool about the teenage biker gangs, but it gets into, the, like I just said, the supernatural and kind of powers element of Akira. Sadly, our main character does not really get powers, but our main villain does, which is none other than our friend Tetsuo. Tetsuo gets some incredible powers, even strong enough where he can go and punch the moon. Yes, you heard it correctly. He can go punch a hole through the moon. So definitely think about like all of the crazy fights you've ever seen. And yes, this man can still blow a hole through the moon. So you thought Saitama was strong from One Punch Man in these current eras, but Akira from the story, Tetsuo in the story of Akira still potentially has him beat. With how many incredible powers that Tetsuo acquires, he is truly the equivalent of an atomic weapon. And I feel like that is the equivalent of what they're trying to equate his powers to be, which is really cool and an homage to multiple ways to World War II. And so I definitely view Akira as a very well crafted story from Katsuhiro Otomo. So definitely recommend it. And if you guys have any other thoughts about Akira, if you guys are familiar, not familiar, definitely drop it in the comments down below. And we'll have to see you next time. It's Eslave Manga back again with another YouTube video. And we'll catch you next time. Don't forget, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and we'll see you around.